Would you say that a shirt is a shirt and it means the same thing to all men?
I don't think there's any two men for whom the shirt means the same thing. I'm reminded of a story back in 05, 06, I want to say. And there's a lady friend who, at the time, suggested to us, Sam, would you consider selling men's shirts? She said, you guys are in laundry anyways, and it would be a natural extension for you to recommend when clients' shirts are wearing out, you know. And I was like, I think it's a bit of a stretch. And she says, you could try out these shirts, the ones with the African print, the Madiba shirt. I was like, why not? So I remember pitching it to a couple of clients and going through numerous rejections. The price point was a bit on the higher side. It was an exclusive brand. It carried a premium price tag. At the time, I think it was between $200 and $300, give or take 25,000-30,000 shillings each. So it was a really hard sell at the time. But as we were giving up on the idea, I thought about this gentleman who was a client of ours. He was a news anchor at KTN, and he had been recommended to us by the late Catherine Kasavuli. And if you know anything about Catherine, you would know that when it came to her appearance, the way she showed up, Catherine was impeccable. She was simply flawless. And by extension, if she recommended you to anybody, she had this extremely powerful word of mouth. God bless her soul. So this evening we are delivering laundry to her colleague, and he lived in Kilaleshwa. I remember it was one evening he was rushing out, trying to make it in time for the evening bulletin. And as I'm handing over his laundry to him, I remembered I had 7 of those Madiba shirts with me. And I thought I would take the opportunity to pitch him, hopefully praying that he'll pick up at least one. And I showed them to him. He looks at one and he asks how much. And I told him it's 25,000 shillings each. It's a snug fit, so I think it would be perfect for him. And in a calm voice, almost like a whisper, he says to me, place them here. And he walks over to the trunk of his vehicle. I remember it was a white VX. And he opens the trunk, pulls out a small leather man bag, and inside he's got this wad of cash, and he proceeds to count in batches of 10,000, 10,000, and he pays for each and every last one of the 7 shirts. I took the money, I thanked him, and he looks at me straight in the eye and he says, Sam, I know and I trust that you're going to take good care of these shirts. In any event, you're going to launder them, right? And I shook his hand and I told him, yes, I would. I walked away, got into our tiny little Suzuki Maruti delivery van at the time, and slowly drove out of his compound. The whole time, trying to reflect and process and understand what had just transpired over the last 5 minutes. I cannot begin to tell you the lessons that I picked from that interaction relating to pitching, placement, the assumptions that we make when we go about our sales interactions, the idea of what do you introduce to your business as an extension, and what is your vis-a-vis, what is your core, and even what value looks like from one client to another. So I would say the man's shirt means different things to different men. And 20 years on, when we engage with entrepreneurs, specifically laundry business owners, we talk a lot about what this value looks like from one individual to the next, and more so the importance of delivering consistent and impeccable outcomes for the client, irrespective of what that sense of impeccable looks like to the different clients. Whether impeccable means a crisp, clean, starched shirt, a heavily starched shirt.
At the first wear, meaning the first time I wear it, I know a shirt will crease as you're wearing it, but the moment I put it on, I like it to be very clean and crispy. very well ironed. You know, the guys you'll give and you'll find your shirt looking like an accordion because they've ironed 3 lines on that shirt or trousers. Or
my husband is so anal about, he calls them cuts za heshima. You know those cuts for the trousers and how they're folded. He's so particular about that. And we've never had an issue all these years.
Whether the client wants it delivered at the branch or at his home, it's your job to deliver that outcome on a consistent basis. It was Nelson Mandela who was asked the question, why do you wear your shirts the way you do? He laughed and he responded, don't forget I've been in jail for 27 years. I want to feel freedom.